Imagine waking up at 3 a.m., confident you know your own house, only to immediately clothesline yourself on a chair you've owned for years. That's not clumsiness. That's evolution, quietly uninstalling a feature. Humans used to be pretty decent at seeing in the dark. Not superhero dark, but I won't die walking to the fire dark. Early humans relied on moonlight, starlight, and vibes. Our eyes were better at squeezing information out of low light, and our brains were better at filling in the blanks. Fast forward to now, you flip on your phone flashlight like a raccoon discovering electricity. Artificial light has spoiled us rotten. When you're surrounded by LEDs 24/7, your eyes stop bothering to stay sensitive. Rod cells, the ones responsible for night vision, basically went, cool, we're part-time now. Your brain also stopped practicing interpreting shadows, movement, and contrast because why bother when the sun lives in your pocket? The wild part is that this loss happened so gradually you didn't notice. There was no dramatic, congratulations you can't see anymore announcement. Just centuries of candles, lamps, streetlights, and finally, the blinding interrogation beam that is your fridge light at midnight. Other animals still have this skill dialed up. Cats can see with barely any light. You, meanwhile, can't find the bathroom without emotionally preparing for shin impact. Basically, your ancestors survived darkness. You survived charging cables. Progress. Somewhere deep in your DNA is a version of you that could handle cold like an absolute menace. Not cute winter outfit, cold. We're talking ice wind slapping your soul, cold. Early humans didn't have central heating, thermal socks, or that one hoodie you refuse to throw away. Their bodies adapted by getting better at managing heat, conserving energy, and activating brown fat, a special type of fat that burns itself to keep you warm. It's like your body had a built-in space heater. Now, you shiver if the air conditioning is set wrong. Modern life has turned temperature discomfort into a customer service issue. We've outsourced thermal regulation to buildings. Your body noticed this and said, oh, we're not doing that anymore. Brown fat levels dropped. Cold exposure dropped. Adaptation packed its bags. There are still humans who can flip this switch back on. People who regularly expose themselves to cold can rebuild some tolerance. But for most of us, the moment the weather dips below pleasant, we're layering like an anxious lasagna. The irony is that your body still has the instruction manual, it just hasn't been opened in generations. So when winter hits and you dramatically announce, I can't feel my hands, remember, your ancestors are judging you from the past, shirtless, in a snowstorm, wondering how you lost a fight with a light breeze. You have a tiny supercomputer in your head that once knew exactly where you were at all times. It tracked the sun, the stars, landmarks, wind patterns, and subtle environmental cues without you consciously thinking about it. This wasn't magic, it was practice. Humans traveled long distances on foot, memorizing terrain like a mental Google Maps that didn't yell at you for missing a turn. Then GPS showed up and absolutely bodied that skill. Why remember directions when a calm robot voice will gently shame you back onto the route? Your hippocampus, the part of your brain involved in navigation, literally gets less exercise now. Studies show that heavy GPS use is linked to reduced spatial memory. Translation, your brain's internal compass is gathering dust. That's why you can live somewhere for years and still not know which direction is north. You've been carried by satellites like a baby in a stroller. Ancient humans could feel when they were off course. You feel panic when your phone battery hits 10%. It's not that you're bad at directions, it's that your brain retired early. You didn't lose your sense of direction. You just replaced it with a glowing rectangle that says recalculating while silently judging your life choices. You think you're bad at hearing, but really, your brain just stopped caring. Early humans relied on sound the way you rely on notifications. A twig snapping wasn't background noise, it was a potential death announcement. Our ancestors could isolate specific sounds from chaos, pinpoint direction, and detect meaning in tiny auditory changes. The brain was basically running a 24/7 audio surveillance system. Now, you can't hear someone talking directly to you if there's a TV on in another room. That's not your ears failing, it's your attention system being fried. Modern environments are loud in the most useless ways possible. Engines, hums, music, alerts, podcasts. 3 people talking at once. Your brain adapted by filtering aggressively. Too aggressively. It learned to tune out instead of tuning in. There's also less necessity. Nothing terrible happens if you don't hear a distant sound. No predators, no urgent survival cues, so your auditory cortex downgraded its performance. It's still capable. Musicians and sound engineers prove this, but it needs training again, like a muscle that's been replaced by noise-cancelling headphones. That's why silence feels weird now. True quiet makes your brain uncomfortable. It doesn't know what to listen for anymore, so it starts inventing noises, ringing, buzzing, phantom sounds. Congratulations, your brain is bored and stirring the audio pot. Basically, you didn't lose your hearing. You lost the skill of listening with intent. Your ancestors heard danger. You hear buffering. Smell used to run your brain like a secret manager. Long before written language, humans used scent to identify people, places, food safety, emotional states, and danger. Your olfactory system is directly wired to memory and emotion. No middleman, no logic checkpoint. Smell hits your brain and immediately opens a dusty emotional filing cabinet. But modern life dulled this ability. Artificial fragrances, pollution, constant exposure to strong smells, all of it numbed your sensitivity. Plus, we stopped depending on smell for survival. You don't sniff food and think, will this kill me? You check the expiration date like a civilized mammal. Over time, your brain stopped prioritizing scent. It's still powerful. One random smell can still emotionally body slam you back to childhood, but you're not fluent in it anymore. Early humans could track animals, recognize group members, and read environments through smell. You just know whether something smells good or bad and move on. The wild thing, your brain still stores insane amounts of memory through smell. You just don't practice accessing it. It's like having a hard drive full of emotional data and only using it accidentally when someone walks by wearing the wrong cologne. Your ancestors followed scent trails across land. You follow the smell of coffee like it's a quest marker. You know that feeling when you sit down to do something important, blink once, and suddenly it's 45 minutes later and you've accomplished absolutely nothing. That's not laziness, that's a missing skill. Humans used to be terrifyingly good at sustained focus. Hunting, crafting, problem solving, these required hours of uninterrupted attention. No notifications, no tabs, no dopamine slot machine in your pocket. Your brain evolved to enter deep focus states naturally. It could lock onto a task and stay there because survival demanded it. Now, your environment constantly interrupts you. Every buzz, ping, and scroll trains your brain to expect novelty. Deep focus became inefficient, so your brain stopped defaulting to it. Neurologically, this means your attention system is fragmented. You switch tasks constantly, burning mental energy without realizing it. Deep work now feels exhausting because it's unfamiliar, not because you're incapable. The ability isn't gone, it's just buried under layers of digital confetti. When people meditate, read for long stretches, or do hands-on work, they often rediscover this focus and are shocked by how calm it feels. Your ancestors focused long enough to build tools and survive winters. You struggle to watch a 10-minute video without checking comments. Progress is complicated. Pain used to be information, clean, useful, actionable information. Early humans experienced pain constantly, scrapes, burns, muscle strain, and their brains learned to interpret it without immediately panicking. Pain meant adjust, rest, avoid, or endure. It wasn't automatically a crisis. The nervous system was calibrated to function through discomfort because discomfort was unavoidable. Modern humans, meanwhile, treat pain like a software error. The moment something hurts, alarms go off. Anxiety spikes. Google opens. Your brain doesn't just feel pain anymore, it catastrophizes it. This isn't because pain got worse, it's because your relationship with pain changed. We removed most everyday discomfort from life. Soft chairs, climate control, painkillers. So when pain does show up, your brain isn't practiced at contextualizing it. The signal gets amplified, stress hormones pile on, the pain feels bigger, louder, more personal. Studies show that people who expect pain to be dangerous experience it more intensely. Your ancestors didn't have the luxury of spiraling. They acknowledged pain, adapted, and kept moving. That skill, interpreting pain without emotional overreaction, quietly faded. You still have it. Athletes, monks, and people who regularly challenge their comfort zone tap into it all the time. But for most of us, a minor ache becomes a full internal investigation. Your body is sending a memo, your brain turns it into a dramatic email thread. Once upon a time, humans slept like absolute weirdos, in a good way, not 8 straight hours, more like segmented sleep. First sleep, wake up, chill, think, maybe talk, then second sleep. This matched natural light cycles and hormone rhythms perfectly. Then artificial lighting showed up and said, what if night didn't exist? Your circadian rhythm tried to adapt, but it's still running ancient software. Screens blast blue light into your eyes, telling your brain it's noon at 11 p.m. Melatonin production gets delayed, sleep quality drops. You lie awake, tired but wired, scrolling like it's a ritual sacrifice. The ability to naturally fall asleep and wake up rested wasn't lost overnight. It eroded slowly. Now sleep feels fragile, something you have to optimize, hack, and track with an app that ironically keeps you awake. Your body still knows how to sleep properly. Put someone in natural light dark conditions for long enough and their rhythm resets. But modern life fights this at every turn. Your ancestors slept when the sun told them to. You sleep when Netflix asks if you're still watching. Boredom used to be a feature, not a bug. It was the mental space where creativity happened, where problem solving brewed, where the brain reorganized itself. Early humans spent long stretches waiting, watching, walking, sitting. Their minds learned to exist without constant stimulation. Now boredom feels unbearable. The second nothing happens, your hand reaches for your phone like it's a survival reflex. That's because your brain has been trained to expect stimulation on demand. Dopamine loops replaced patience. The ability to sit with boredom quietly disappeared, not because boredom became worse, but because silence became unfamiliar. Your brain panics without input and demands entertainment. Ironically, boredom is where some of your best ideas come from. When the mind isn't distracted, it starts connecting dots. That skill still exists, it's just been drowned out by infinite content. Your ancestors got ideas from staring at nothing. You get anxiety when the Wi-Fi drops. You used to know when you were hungry, actually hungry, when you were tired, actually tired, when you were stressed, sick, or overwhelmed. These signals guided behavior. Eat, rest, stop. Now those signals are drowned in schedules, caffeine, sugar, and external rules. Eat because it's noon, sleep because it's late. Ignore exhaustion because deadlines exist. Over time, the ability to read your own body faded. This is called interoception, your awareness of internal states. It's still there, but underused. People who slow down, practice mindfulness, or reconnect with physical cues often rediscover it and are shocked by how much information their body was sending the whole time. Your body hasn't stopped talking, you just stopped listening. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.